Today, let's go over the Star Wars franchise when it comes to the character of Supreme Leader Snoke, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Episode 9. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, at the very end of The Last Jedi, we got that real ambiguous moment between both Kylo and Rey. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this recently and talking about Snoke, and since we have been hearing about Snoke's return in some way, shape, or form by writer and director J.J. Abrams for Episode 9, even from the Weekly Planet, that Lucasfilm is toying around with the idea of actually Snoke being Darth Plagueis. Now, at the very end of The Last Jedi, we actually saw that moment between both Kylo Ren and Rey, in which they are both looking at each other. He's inside of the Rebellion base, and she's inside of the Falcon just before she shuts the door on him, and she flies away with the last people of the Resistance. Now, in that moment, we have the Force Bond sequence going around, right? This was all initiated by Supreme Leader Snoke. This was revealed, I would say, halfway through the film in the throne room scene, in which he said, you know, it was I who twisted your minds around like that. So he did that whole entire mind game between both Kylo Ren and Rey, and then this is the moment, in case you guys did not read the novelization, when Rey was getting tortured, that was the moment where Kylo Ren said to himself that this is the time to take Snoke out. Now, there's been a lot of talk on exactly how would Snoke be alive and what hints are there in The Last Jedi, and I think that the biggest hint of all in The Last Jedi is exactly like, well, why is Kylo Ren still experiencing this thing that Snoke initiated, and why is Rey experiencing the same exact thing as well? Not only does it foreshadow that there's going to be a ton of Force Bond sequences in Episode 9, but it also could very well give us a hint that Snoke could have very well lived on in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps not physically, but maybe there's some kind of energy from Supreme Leader Snoke that lives between both Kylo Ren and Rey. There's a lot of questions about everything that has been happening with this and the Force Bond sequence. We haven't really gotten anything more than that. Even Rian Johnson, you know, he hasn't responded to this question about Kylo Ren and Rey having that Force Bond moment at the very end of The Last Jedi, and a lot of you guys were bringing this up as well, that that could very well be a hint of Supreme Leader Snoke living on in some way, shape, or form, maybe not physically, but maybe in a different way. And Rian Johnson has touched on this before in the past about the whole entire concept of dark side Force ghosts, or dark side, you know, Force spirits, or something around those lines, and how he would really like to see that come into fruition in a future Star Wars film. Which, me personally, I think that ghosts should really stay with, you know, the light side, like, you know, just regular Jedi, like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, you name it, even Qui-Gon. But Supreme Leader Snoke, alright, we do know that there are a lot of mind games that went on throughout The Last Jedi from point A to point B, and at the very end of the movie, could that have very well been a moment that maybe Snoke was actually alive? I don't know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments section. Let me know what you think about this, because the other option is that maybe it's just that Snoke's power is now stuck with Rey and Kylo Ren. It's kind of like that they're stuck with these Force Bond moments where they're going to keep on seeing each other from afar. Now, I don't know how J.J. Abrams is going to work around that in Episode 9. Like I say, there's a lot of talk right now that he's rewriting some scenes of the movie, including the ending of the film. In fact, Colin Trevorrow's original script of Episode 9 had Daisy Ridley crying about her character, Rey. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with this movie, and I'm really curious as to exactly what's going to happen overall with those two characters. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.